سماح، علاء الدين، المصطفى، محمد إبا، Hannah. Can you all hear me? Is the voice clear? Okay, Ramadan Kareem. I'm very happy to have this number today, and I hope that more and more will show up soon. Today is Wednesday, the 14th of April, 2021. This is the class 10, session 3. I just would like to talk to you. Mustafa, I can't read what you wrote. Can you write in English, please? Okay? Now, there is no news about Ramadan timing from university. So, our sessions will go as usual. For class 10, we might have, or it would be better for class 10 to start the Monday session at 10. Is that okay? Monday session for class 10 should be, or would be better to have it at 10 o'clock. Is that a good idea? Okay, instead of 8, yes. On Monday we are supposed to have our sessions on Monday at 8 o'clock, from 8 to 10. Shall we have it from 10 to 12, or you have other sessions? Yes, only in Ramadan. What do you think? And if you find it suitable, I don't mind if it is later also from 10 to 12. On Monday only. Our Wednesday, our Friday session is at 10. Yani all our sessions will be at 10. Good idea? You agree, Ibrahim? Alauddin, okay. Okay, so shall I send an email to all the class to just adjust the time of the session on Monday from 8 to 10. Yani all our sessions will be for class 10 at 10 o'clock. Yani number 10 is following you. You are class 10. Your session is at 10 o'clock on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Good idea. Okay. That's great. So nobody seems to have any problems. You don't have any lectures at the same time? You don't have any lectures at the same time? Okay, great. Okay, guys, so let's continue what we started with last time. Last session, we started working on mosaic number 1. We started with the chapter number 1. We finished part 1 about the United States. Okay? Today we'll be talking about the differences. If you remember, we said that we need to talk about the differences between the United States and Canada. Before we do that, we'll talk about some more differences across the world. Now, around the globe, this is exactly where we stopped last time. Okay? If you look at these photos now, what do you think we're talking about? Look at the title, meeting and greeting. You know, greeting, hello, hello. When you meet somebody for the first time, or when you meet somebody in the street or somewhere, you have to greet them. Is the voice bad, really, guys? Abdul Hakim has a problem with the voice. What about the others? Do you have problems with the voice? Samah? It's clear, right? So maybe your connection, Abdul Hakim. Try to relog to the session again. Yeah. So when one only has, or one or two has the voice problem, it's not maybe my mic, it's your connection. It's your connection, I think. Okay, I'll try to speak while I try not to move the mouse while I'm speaking. Look at these photos, guys. So look at the photo and notice the caption underneath. In parts of Europe and Latin America, people often kiss each other on the cheek when they meet. You can see here a man and a woman here greeting each other, and it's okay for them to shake hands and kiss each other. But in our culture, in our society, this is not acceptable, is it? This is different. Now, if you look at the second part, okay? In the English-speaking world, people usually shake hands when they meet, particularly in formal situations. So they are shaking hands, as you can see. And in the third one, in some parts of the world, people often touch each other when they meet. These are different ways of greeting. However, this is not applicable nowadays. Am I right, guys? This was before Corona. This was before Corona time. Somebody seems to have the microphone. There's noise. Yes, this is before Corona. But in our Corona time, we have to cancel all these methods of greeting. Okay? We have to talk about what we call social distancing. Someone's microphone is open. Please unplug your mics. Unplug your mics, please. Guys, unplug your mics. Iba, can you unplug your mic, please? I'm just trying to take off the mics from you, but it just keeps coming back. That's strange. Okay. You all have mics. I don't know why. So maybe this is why the voice quality is bad. Is this better now? Is this better now, guys? Is this better? Kareem? So and so. Well, I'm afraid I can't do anything about that now. I did all that I can. Try to relax to the session, Abdul Hakim. It's just the same. I have no problem here. Like this, is it better now? In my microphone? No. What about it now? Is it better now? Okay, guys. So we said that all these methods of greeting were before Corona. Now we started talking about what we call, who can tell me that in English? التباعد الاجتماعي. Who would like to tell me what this is in English? What is التباعد الاجتماعي? Social distancing, exactly, yeah. Now if you look here, notice now meeting and greeting. In some cultures such as Japan and Korea, people bow to each other when they meet. You know, when you bend your back as a way of greeting. In others, they put their palms together in front of their faces, and they clasp their hands and they put it in their faces and incline their heads. This is called Namaste in India and Way in Thailand. In Russia, France, Italy, and many other parts of Europe, as well as in Latin America, people touch each other when they meet, embracing, hugging, and often exchanging a quick kiss on one or both cheeks. Muslims greet each other with the Salam Greeting. This means that they bow, sometimes touching their foreheads with the palm of their right hand, and say Assalamu alaikum, or a similar phrase, wishing peace to each other, wishing peace to each other. Okay? Salam means, in the English-speaking world, however, Australia, Britain, Canada, New Zealand, and the USA, the usual custom is to shake hands, but sometimes people don't, preferring to just nod and smile. A casual hi or how are you doing or hello there often takes the place of a formal handshake, but it means the same thing. If a person extends her or his hand in greeting, then it's polite to shake hands. That's in the West. But you know, in our country, usually we have different cultures, and nowadays all the world have become similar. People start avoiding shaking hands, and they have invented some strange and funny ways of greeting so that they don't touch each other. Okay, so maybe now the best method of greeting would be nodding and smiling, or hi, how are you, salam, hello there. So these would be the best methods of greeting. Do you have any new method of greeting? We have seen so many funny videos showing how out, touching, or shaking hands. Okay? So this is what this is. Where are they? In the first photo, what do you think? Look at the way they're standing. Where are they, Ahmad? Iba, where are they? Ibrahim, Abir, Noor, are you there? Hello, can you hear me, guys? Yes, where are they? Where are the people? What do you think they are doing here? Are they at work? Yes, are they at work? Yeah, so you can see that they are standing very close to each other. They're looking at something. So you can see that the distance or the personal space here is, we have something called personal space. The personal space here is very, very little. You can see them sitting next to standing next to each other. They're not avoiding close contact. In the second one, which is healthier, the first photo or the second photo? Which is healthier? Of course, it's the second photo. Notice the distance between people, even the seating arrangement. Look at the seating arrangement, the way they have arranged the seats. It might be a restaurant, it might be a cafe or whatever, a seating arrangement. They're taking care of social distance. Now, apart from social distance, بمعنى التباعد الاجتماعي that we are doing these days, we have something called personal space. My personal space in America is much larger than the personal space in maybe China. it's acceptable for people to sit closer to each other in some Eastern country more than other Western countries. Okay? And this is considered personal space. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. For various space, we have so many different ideas now because of this pandemic coronavirus. Okay? Now, when you see somebody for the first time, what are the questions that you ask them? What do you ask them? What do you say when you meet someone for the first time? What are the questions that you ask? Can you write me some questions? You meet, for example, Alauddin, you meet Ahmad for the first time. What questions can you ask him? How are you? Okay, more. Riyad, what do you think? Abdul Hakim, Ala, what do you think, Ahmad? More questions. How are you? What else? Where are you from? Okay. Where are you from? It's okay. How old are you? Is it okay to ask how old are you or how old you are? Is it okay to ask somebody how old they are from in first meeting? Especially if they were women, Iba? Okay, what's your job? Yeah, it's not good actually, especially women. And when you say, for example, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? That's your job. Okay? Yeah. Are there questions that are considered impolite in a first encounter? Is it okay to ask somebody, for example, about their social status, marital status? Marital status? To ask about salary. Is it polite? No, it's not a good idea to ask somebody about their salary. It's impolite actually. But the problem in our culture, many people ask this question. Look at this woman in the photo. Okay? How much money do you make? And this is their first meeting. What ideas the young man might have about her? What's he trying to find out? Why does she ask, or why is she asking about money? What's her goal? Is this, she might be innocent, she may not have any reason, but maybe in her culture, it's okay to ask about money if she is from a different culture. Right, Mustafa? Maybe in her culture they consider that okay, but in general, I think in our culture and even in the West, this is not a good idea in a first meeting. Okay? So what questions are polite for a first meeting? This varies greatly depending on where you live. It depends on where you live. Okay? So in some countries, it's okay. Every one of them is polite in some cultures. Now we're gonna have some questions here. Look at these questions. Is it okay to say to somebody, where are you from? Is it okay, this question, where are you from? Is it polite? Yes. Like, how much did you pay for your jacket? Is this a good question? No, definitely not. What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living? Maybe it's okay, yes. And how much money do you make? How much money do you make? No. So it's number 2, no. Number 4, also no. Are you married? It's okay to ask, are you married? How old are you? How old are you? We just said it depends on the culture as well. But with women, and actually maybe sometimes between men, it's not a good idea in some Western country. But here in our country, it's okay to ask each other about age, especially men, but not women. Okay? Do you have any children? Is this a good question? Yes. What is your religion? What is your religion? No. Okay, actually the questions you ask can give a clue about your own ideas. You might have some ideas and your questions can tell about you. You might, if you ask these questions, you may give a wrong impression about you. So question 2, question 4, 6 and 8 are impolite to ask in a first encounter. Okay, in a first meeting. They are impolite. Okay? Do you have any questions before we move on? Ala? Riyad, Samah? Do you have any questions? Right. If you move on to politeness, about politeness, so part of it is the questions that you ask. And we said that politeness vary from one culture to another. Okay? Now, let's move to learn a new strategy now. Okay? Usually when we have academic writing, and especially in academic text, we can arrange our ideas in diagrams. You know diagrams? You know NVDs, non-verbal devices? NVD. I can show you information in a table. I can show you information in a table. Table يعني, as you can see, it's جدول. Okay? I can draw some diagrams to show. I can have some graphs, some bar graphs, some line graphs. Okay? You have some bar graphs, you have some line graphs. So these are called diagrams. One way of showing information is using what we call a continuum, as you can see here. A continuum is a diagram like the two below, used to show different amounts or degrees of something. And here the focus when I use this shape is to show the degree or amount of something. Okay, degrees of acceptance, for example, degrees of politeness, for example. You will use these diagrams to talk about acceptance in the USA, acceptance of maybe certain questions, and acceptance in the Middle East. Some are highly acceptable, something that are highly acceptable in USA, they might come low in the Middle East. You see what I mean? Here you show degrees, you classify things according to degrees, low, high. Okay? So this is just to understand what this is about. Okay? You can rate social acceptance in such diagrams. So I'll move on. We don't need to focus a lot on this. And now we will start with the real part 2. Remember last session we started talking about the United States. Today we'll be talking about Canada. Okay? Remember we said that we have differences, we have small differences. Let's see the difference between the two countries. Do you think Canada is similar to the United States? Do you think the Americans and the Canadians are similar? Really? Are they similar or different? How different? Okay, good. That's good. You know that some of them said no, some of you said no, or most of you said no. They are different. How different? In what way are they different, Ibrahim? What do you think, Ala Dean? Can you give me some examples? Would you like to speak? All right. In what terms are they different? In what terms? Aha, in politeness. Very good, Ibrahim. Who is more polite? Different cultures? Okay. Yeah. In their beliefs as well. Okay. Do you know anybody who lives in America or Canada, for example? Even in language? Okay. I understand that there's a difference between British English and American English. There is a difference between Australian English and American English, but Canadian English and British and American English, maybe? Okay. So we will be talking about that today. Excellent, Ala. Yes, French is more common in Canada, in their behavior. Okay, Ibrahim. How in their behavior? Can you give some more details? Who is friendlier? Who is more friendly? Canadians or the Americans? The Americans, yeah. When we talk about nationalities, we capitalize. Americans. Sorry about the spelling mistake. Okay, let's learn more differences, okay? Now, before we start reading about Canada, we have to learn some new words. Last session we talked about getting meaning from context, right? يعني معرفة معنى الكلمة من سياق النص. Okay? Okay guys, I have a problem with electricity. If we get disconnected, wait for 5 minutes. If I don't come back, just leave the session. Okay? I'm sorry about that. يعني no electricity since 7 o'clock. Nothing has been charged. We may not be able to finish all this. Okay? I hope that the problem will be solved by a miracle. يعني إذا إجت الكهرباء بنحل المشكلة. If not, I have to cancel the session. Okay? Yeah, I know it's a general problem. Okay. So stay with me until we get disconnected. When we get disconnected, wait for 5 minutes. If I don't come back, just leave. Okay? طيب, getting meaning from context. We said that we examine the word, we look at the word, we try to see is it compound noun or compound word. I try to decide the part of speech, noun, verb, adjective, etc. And then I try to guess the meaning from the parts. Now, look at number 1. Burton says that to a stranger, the land must seem endless. Notice this word, endless. Endless. What part of speech is it? What part of speech is it? Endless. What's the part of speech? No, the land seems nice. The land seems endless. Fearless. This is actually an adjective. It is an adjective. Okay? Endless. يعني with no end. Notice endless. With no end. So what's the meaning of endless? Is it full of variety or stretching out in all directions? Yes. It's without limits. Very good. يعني it's stretching out in all directions. Stretching out in all directions. Number 2. It is the vastness of Canada that surprises people. The word vastness. Very good. Infinite. 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 Excellent. Now, when I say the vastness of Canada, vastness, of Canada surprises people. What part of speech is vastness? Yes, it's a noun. Vastness, N-E-S-S. The vastness of Canada. Vastness. Vast means what? Is it a beauty or large size? Something is vast. Something is spacious. So it is large size. So about Canada, the vastness of Canada. The vastness of Canada is amazing. 3. The observant visitor will note some differences. Last session we talked about ANT, like accountant, inhabitant, observant visitor. What's the meaning of observant visitor? I'm describing the visitor. So he's observant, it's an adjective. So does it mean the visitor who looks around or the visitor who talks a lot? Yes, it's the visitor who looks around. It's the one who looks around. Very good. Let's move on. Look at this word. The national makeup refers to the Canadian economy or character. When I talk about the national makeup, make-up, 2 parts, makeup. Is it economy or character? It's a noun. Very good, Ibrahim. It's a noun. So is it economy? Make up. When something is made up of something, the parts. So it's not money actually, no. I'm afraid it is the character. It is the character. Yes, the national makeup يعني the national character. Okay? يعني تركيبهم البنية تبع المجتمع، تركيبة المجتمع وليس اقتصاد المجتمع. Okay? يعني الهوية Okay? Now, Burton talks about the American melting pot. A pot is a bowl in which people melt. So what do you mean by melting pot? Does it mean a society of people who become very similar or different when they melt? When they melt, they become very different. When they melt, إذا انصهروا مع بعض شو? They are similar. Definitely they are similar, of course. طيب, in July and August, Eastern Canadians suffer in the heat and humidity. Heat and humidity. What's the meaning of humidity? Like in Latakia, you have heat and humidity. Is it wetness or dryness? Wetness or dryness? It's wetness, definitely. Humid. Humidity is a noun. Okay, this is wetness. طيب, 7. A newcomer is someone who wants to arrive or has just arrived? Wants to arrive or has just arrived? Has just arrived. Exactly. وصل حديثا, as we say. Newcomer, it's a noun. It's a noun. Okay? Type. What about the next one? Canada did not have a civil war, but it did have some uprisings. What do you mean by uprisings? Are they uprising? Are they big revolutions? Well, small battles? Yes. Uprising are small battles. Uprising. 9. The lawmen are robbers and murderers, ولا sheriffs and policemen? Lawmen. What do you think? They are sheriffs. Remember in America they used to have, especially in cowboy films, we used to have sheriffs and policemen. The author says that the Americans are more outgoing than Canadians. What do you mean by outgoing? Outgoing with hats, not hate, with hats. Because hate صارت verb. Okay? Yes. So when I say they are more outgoing, what does it mean? Are they shy or loud? Americans are louder. This is what the author says. The French style cooking in Quebec, and this is a part in Canada where French is the main language, as you mentioned. The French style cooking means food prepared for French people, wala in the French way. French style. It's hyphenated, as you can see. We talked about hyphen in the French way. Very good. So you're gonna see these words in the text. All of these words will be mentioned in the text. Okay? Now, look at this part. Remember last time we talked about strategy of reading a paragraph. We said that some paragraphs have what we call a topic sentence. This topic sentence is clearly stated. We saw some clearly stated topics. Yani in the first line they have the main idea. We also said that sometimes the topic is implied, يعني متضمنة في النص. Okay? When it's implied, يعني it's there but not clearly written in the first line. Sometimes the main idea is not stated directly. The main idea is implied, يعني suggested. How? يعني يتم الإيحاء بها by facts, details and ideas about the topic. A main idea brings together all or most of the different parts of the paragraph. And the main idea is not only one small idea in the paragraph. Okay, it doesn't express only one part. It's the general or the umbrella that covers the whole text. Okay, now we have a text about Canada. Okay, a Canadian writer wrote it. Okay, you can read this introduction on your own about this Canadian writer, Burton. Okay, this person best known for his books on Canadian history. Okay, he writes about Canadian history. In this selection, Burton gives his personal reply to the question so often asked by visitors. What is the difference between Canadians and Americans? This is the question that we asked. What do you know about Canadians? What ways do you think they are different? Let's learn. Let's learn about them. Remember last time we looked at this map, looked at the map of America. Today, last session we talked about America and we talked about the vastness of America and how far is it between Washington DC here and LA here. How big the space or the distance is. And if you just go upwards, look at Canada. It's much bigger. Look at the map. It's much bigger than America. You can have Quebec here where you said that people speak French more. You have Ontario, you have Alberta, you have British Columbia, Yukon, Northwest Territories, etc. You have the Newfoundland here and United States here. I don't know if it is related here or not. Okay, but this is Canada, the dark blue one. It's a vast country. يعني مساحة شاسعة. Okay, it's very big. This is the map of Canada. Now practice the skill of finding implied main idea and analyzing the first 5 paragraphs of the following. Okay, so all the idea, these 5 paragraphs, we have more than 5, but the first 5 paragraphs we want to guess the main idea without or the implied idea. Okay, they are implied. Okay, you need to choose the phrase that best describes the main idea quickly. We look at the text. My country. Burton wrote this. Yeah, it's like a continent, exactly, Ibrahim. It's vast, it's huge. Now my country, read the first paragraph and tell me, read here, which one is the main idea? A, B, or C? You have 20 to 30 seconds. Quickly, guys, read and decide. Yes, very good, guys. Very good. So Canada is very, very big. To a stranger, the land must seem endless. A herring gull winging its way from St. John's, Newfoundland, to Victoria on the southern tip of Vancouver Island will travel as far as the distance from London to Baghdad. It is the vastness that startles the imagination of all who visit my country. يعني مدهش, it's startling. Yes, it's Canada, it's very big. Okay? It's not about Canada hard to know. It's not about Canada is strange and surprising. No, it's all focusing on how huge and vast the distance is in Canada. Second paragraph, bravo. Second paragraph. Okay? Read. Contrary to common belief. Wow! I'm sorry. Electricity is back. So we are going to continue, inshallah. Okay, I'm sorry about that, guys. Uh-oh. Can you hear that? We need to celebrate, but I was about to celebrate, then it's off again. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Continue reading now, paragraph B. Paragraph B, and decide what happened. اجت الكهرباء وراحت يا عبد الحكيم. I'm sorry. Okay. That's a farce. عن جد مهزلة. Okay. Just read and decide. Yes. Yes, so what's the main idea here? What do you think? Let me just show you. Just take it seriously, please, and read. Contrary to common belief, we do not live in a snow-covered cabins far from civilization. Most of us inhabit cities that don't seem to differ greatly from those to the south of us, يعني to the American ones. The observant visitor, this is one of the words that we learned, however, will note some differences. There are some differences. Okay, option C, I'll try to show you C. Now, can you see it all now? Can you see C? The variety of our natural makeup is, I believe, more pronounced than it is in the American melting pot. A newcomer in the United States quickly learns to cover up his or her origins and become an American. A newcomer to Canada manages to keep something of the culture, customs of his own ethnic background. So yes, it is C. Very good. All Canadians seem alike, but they have more variety in their customs and culture than Americans. So they said, They said, as you can see here, we inhabit cities. Our cities are similar, okay, with the American cities, but we are different because we have kept our culture and customs. So it is, see, all Canadians seem alike, but they have more variety in their customs. A is wrong. Why? Canadians appear to others as simple people who inhabit snow-covered cabins? No, they did not say that. They said, contrary to, it's a common belief, but this is not a belief. This is not correct. معناتها A is not correct. Canadians live in almost exactly the same way as Americans live, but really there are differences. It's not exactly the same way. They don't live exactly the same. They have their own cultures. They have their own customs. So C is the best answer. طيب. C, paragraph C now. Traditionally, read this and decide the main idea. Come on, 30 seconds to read very quickly. Yes, traditionally the stranger has thought of Canada as mountainous, snow-swift land. Certainly it can get very cold in Canada. Few non-Canadians understand that it can also get very hot. The eastern cities suffer in the humidity of July and August, and people actually die each year from the heat. In Victoria, roses bloom in Christmas. So in Christmas, roses bloom. So what do you think? What's the main idea? Is it can get very cold in Canada? It can get very hot in Canada. And roses can bloom on Christmas Day. So, well, it's not A actually. It can get very cold. Everybody knows traditionally the stranger thinks that we have snow everywhere, yes, but this is not the main idea. If you continue reading, it gets very hot sometimes. It can get very hot. And you will be surprised that some people die because of heat waves and the humidity in July and August. It can be hot to the degree that you have some roses that blossom on Christmas Day. Usually on Christmas it's very cold, but roses don't bloom in cold weather. Okay? So, it is B. It can get very hot in Canada. All of these sentences serve that it can get very hot. It's not only cold, it's also hot. It is B. Why not C? C is only an example mentioned at the very end. ما معقول يكون one line as an example is the main idea. Okay guys? Okay, Ala, Ahmad, Hanadi, Abdul Hakim, are you following? Kareem, Riyad, Samah, are you sleeping? Ala Ad-Din, Noor, Habir, Ibrahim, Muhammad, Iba, Ahmad. Okay? You're all alert. مصحصحين? Okay. Number 4. Wear temperature. Just quickly. In 40 seconds, read and decide the main idea for question number 4. Yes. What do you think the main idea is? Is it A? B? Or A? Yes, it is actually A. لاحظوا شو قالوا. People think Canadians are like Americans. This is what people think. But Canadians are really more conservative and moderate. Notice, where temperature is considered, where temperature is concerned, we are a country of, we have extremes, very hot to very cold. Yet, as people, we tend toward moderation and even conservatism. يعني ما في extremes, we are moderate and conservative. Non-Canadians think we are the same as our American neighbors. We are different. Our temperament, our social attitudes, our environment, our history make us a different kind of American. We are different. So, we are different, we are conservative, we are moderate. So it is this one. B, Canada is a country of extremes. No, عم بيقولوا من الأول. It's extremes in temperature, yes. The Canadian temperament is like the American one because of social attitudes. So it's A. Okay? Any questions so far before we continue? Questions? No questions. Question 5 يعني الأضداد. Okay? Here it's very cold, there it's very. Okay? These are the extremes. Okay? The opposites. Extremes are complete opposites. E, quickly, you have 20 seconds, to read. E. And decide the main idea. After we do this reading, we're going to have some questions. these two parts, and then we have some true-false questions about the text. Okay? Yeah, let's start reading. I will scroll down slowly. To show you the speed of reading. Okay, please focus on reading. Remember, you are reading it quickly. You are not supposed to stop at difficult words. Read it quickly. Notice here that some topic sentences are clearly stated. From the first line, you can know the main idea of the paragraph. Okay, are you done? You are supposed to read very quickly. Okay, guys, I hope that was a very nice reading. As you can see, there are some things that are clearly stated. Mesela, from the beginning, we are not the same. This is the topic. Okay, Ahmed, I'm sorry to hear that. Now, Canadians are not anti-Americans. We will finish this and stop, Ahmed, by the way. We will finish this and stop because also the battery of my laptop is about to finish. So as you can see here, we have Canadians are not anti-American. From the beginning, I have clearly stated topic sentences. This is easier maybe than the first part. Okay, now if you look now at some true-false questions, now we need to write it's true or false. Most Canadians live in snow-covered cabins far from civilization. Is this true or false? Most Canadians live in snow-covered cabins far from civilization? No, we said that's false. Number one is false. Okay, it's not far from civilization. At the beginning we said that. Okay, it's endless. Okay, it's snow-covered, but it's not far from civilization. That's false. Two, in Canada, newcomers keep more of their original country's customs and culture than do newcomers in the United States. True or false? What do you think? That's true. We said that at the beginning. That is actually the difference. We keep our culture, we keep our traditions. No, they said that at the remember? Actually, contrary to common belief, we keep something of the culture and of background, our ethnic background. Number 3, Canada is a very cold country even in the summertime. Is this true? Is it cold even in summer? No, it's false. It's the country of extremes. It can be very hot and people die because of that. So it is false. Number 3 is false. Number 4, what about number 4? The history of Canada is more bloody and violent than the history of the United States. What about 4? Is it more bloody? It's false. Maalu, it has been described as dull because they have uprising and it's not bloody, so this is false. 5, generally speaking, Canadians are more conservative than Americans. Are they more conservative? Yes, that's true. We are more conservative. We are more... What did they say about themselves? غير conservative. غير إنهم conservative. What did they say? We are moderate. So, we are also moderate. Moderate يعني معتدلين. Moderation. Moderation, moderate. Okay? Okay, afterwards we have 6. The Wild West with its guns and sheriffs with open shirts was an important part of American and Canadian history. What do you think about 6? Yes. It's only in which history? It's false actually. In which history is it? In American history, when you have these sheriffs. Even we see that in cowboys, right guys? We see both movies. They said Canadian scheme is different. Okay? The idea of choosing town marshals and sheriffs by vote to keep the peace of gun fitted into the Canadian scheme of never fitted. Yani, it's not the same. It never fitted. We invented the Northwest Mounted Police. Okay? They are neat and clean with a scarlet goat, contrast with the American symbol of the lawman with open shirt and gun belt. الشرف إلى آخره. Know the law first and then order. The United States has only one official language, but Canada has two official languages. What do you think? What about 8? Sorry, I skipped number 7. 7. هلا 8 is true, right? 8 is true because in Canada they have two languages. Let's say 8 is true. 7. What about 7? Canadians express their emotions more openly than Americans do. Do they express their emotions openly? That is false. Why is it false? Why is it false? What did they say? Do they express their emotions openly? Outward? Yes, 7 is false. Note what they said. Outward displays of emotion are not part of Canadian style. We are northern people. The Americans are far more outgoing. Is a no, they don't express their emotions openly. But all outward displays يعني على الملأ. No, they don't. Okay? طيب, number 9. In general, Canadians are anti-Americans and Americans are anti-Canadian. Is that true? Number 9. Is that true? False. إذا الأول قالوا no. Canadians, he said Canadians are not anti-Americans. We watch American movies. We tend to prefer American-made cars. Okay, we welcome thousands of Americans, tourists in our country. So no, we are not anti-Americans. Finally, Canadian buildings, food and businesses look very different from those in the United States. Do they look very different? Number 10. Their buildings, their food and business. That is false. Why? What do they look? Notice what they said. We are not the same, but the visitor may be pardoned for thinking so. When he or she first crosses the border, he will think that we are the same. Why? Because the buildings in our cities are designed in this international style, the same style. Brand names and the supermarkets are all familiar. You will find Pizza Hut, you will find McDonald's, you will find everything. It's only after several days that the newcomer begins to sense a difference. He cannot put his finger on that difference. ما رح يقدر يفهم شو difference, but then neither can many of my fellow Canadians. يعني it's not easy, not from the very beginning, but you will notice that after a few days. The only thing we are really sure of is that we are not Americans. We are different. Is a number 10 is actually false. Okay? So in this way we are done with this part. I'm going to stop here because my laptop battery is almost over. I don't want to get disconnected because if we disconnect with suddenly sometimes the lecture doesn't work. الملف ما بيشتغل فقبل ما يفصل نهائي, so we have to stop here. Next lesson we'll have to continue this part. Okay guys? I'm very happy to see more of you today, and I do hope that you keep attending. Okay, and I do hope that you study every day, because if you leave things to accumulate, that would be a disaster. لا تتركوا المحاضرات تتراكم, please. Okay, study every day. You have the file. I uploaded the file. Read it, use it, prepare it, and come. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. Good night. See you on Friday, inshallah. Bye bye.